Oh, well, I've literally seen tweets where it says, man, Warriors fans didn't even know about the Warriors until like 5 years ago. There is one secret to being a sports fan, and it's called lying. Lying. You must root passionately, believe wholeheartedly, but you must discuss your lifelong love like it's pork futures, like it's business, like it's numbers. All right, I want to go off script here for a second. Even though my script says go off script here. Going off script. The secret to every truth about every sports fan is this. Sports fans feel exactly how you think they feel. But it's damn near impossible to get them to admit it, especially if the truth makes them seem out of step or vulnerable. And of course, this isn't everyone. And I'm definitely not talking about cynical local journalists who make a living on pointing out the flaws of the hometown team. I'm talking about fans, right? Just fans. And you can find a lot of these fans out here in this barren wasteland of war, Twitter, and you will not find a single soldier without their armor, emotional armor. Okay, back on script here. Everything I mean is right here in these 3 tweets. Bam. This, among other tweets, blew my mind. Okay, something like, I was expecting this is after a Warriors loss on Christmas or something, right? I don't know. I was expecting you're a Warriors fan last night, but then it hit me, there's no such thing as Warriors fan. Warriors fans are just really copy Laker fans who started cheering for Warriors once they started having success. That's why they were so confused. Okay, it was this tweet and another tweet that I saw that was just gleeful about a Warriors regular season loss. So I tweeted this. Because I love this picture here. I love it. This just explains basically life. This is life. Life is this. So I wrote, I've never seen a more apt use for this than the deranged joy people are forcing out through their constipated, agonizing anger whenever the Warriors lose these days. But then, the truth is, even me writing this tweet, I am simultaneously doing the same thing. Because the truth is, this is also exactly how Warriors fans feel watching Steph blow another in-game moment and try to act like we don't care. Obviously, this is all on different levels here. Number one being that it's all relative and it is a regular season game, and if the Warriors win the championship, then I win. Then I get to take off my fake smile mask and show a real smile. But the point is, we're all acting here. And for me to sit here and say, Steph Curry underperforming on Christmas Day for 39 years in a row doesn't frustrate the shit out of me is a lie. And I am not going to lie anymore about this stuff. If I'm going to say Steph Curry not winning final MVP doesn't matter, that's a lie. Of course it matters. It matters in the short term. It matters in the long term. Maybe people have different ways of calculating and truly understanding the impact of players in the future, but right now we still give a shit about these little marks. And it matters in the daily conversation. It does. Just having somebody be able to throw something at you that simple, no finals MVPs. It's annoying, right? So it does matter. You can hold 2 things in your brain at once. You can. This is what I'm trying to get across. You can also despise the fact that KD is on your team and you want him to leave, but at the same time, really enjoy and relish in the championships in these moments. But what I want to do for the next few minutes is go over a few of the things that I feel, the dual emotions that I hold as a Warriors fan. So that's what we're doing. All right, here we go. Okay, this first one is a little counterintuitive because I just want to get this out there. I'm not scared of LeBron. Nobody in Dub Nation, if that's what you want to call it, us, is scared of LeBron. LeBron is kind of like a joke to Warriors fans. I'm serious. When folks say that the Warriors got KD to combat LeBron, it makes me crazy, right? Nobody was scared of LeBron. Just look at the 2016 playoffs. What was more scary? The finals, which were an absolute complete fluke if we were all really being honest. Really, let's really be honest. A fluke. Or the Western Conference Finals, where every single Warriors fan was curled up in a ball in a corner, down 3-1, realizing that the whole thing was a fraud. That we were never really that good, and how the hell did we get here? Sure, there were problems and things, but to be down 3-1, just like that, and for it to all fall apart just like that, We were always more scared of Oklahoma City. Always. I'm still amazed at every game that the Warriors beat the Thunder in the regular season, and I was always scared of playing them in the playoffs. But the difference here is that we actually beat them legitimately in the playoffs. So I can take that and I can rest. The team that we never beat, and check the record, were peak Spurs, and that was always the White Whale. We had our rivalry with the Clippers, and actually we overcame that, but we never overcame the Spurs. And we will never do it, and it will never happen because they are no longer. And if you want to hold something over Warriors, you never beat the Spurs. You never beat the Spurs. But guess what? Jordan never beat the Celtics. Jordan never beat peak Pistons. And that's how the NBA works. So, in a small world, it does bother me that we never beat the Spurs. But in a bigger picture, that's kind of how the NBA works. Teams get old, dominant teams get old, and then the next team comes around. The same shit's gonna happen to the Warriors, and some other team's gonna come up and win. They won't ever really be able to say that they beat the Warriors. They're just next in line. That's how the NBA works. Okay, Draymond Green. I'm eternally worried that he will be exposed as a fraud and only good in the system. Yes, I'm concerned about that. I'm amazed every single time he is recognized as an all-star. I feel like it is so magnanimous of the NBA community to understand that he is an all-star. And I believe he is, and I've watched him ever since he snooked David Lee's job. I understand that he is. I just think in 50 years, 30 years, whatever, especially if this YouTube NBA barrel continues, then he's going to get his legacy picked apart by every 5 years, every 3 years, regularly. Unless he wins another 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards, it's going to be a tough legacy to defend unless he goes somewhere else and has success, which he won't. The KD rings. Dom 2K was gracious enough to bless the timeline and ask this question: do I feel guilty about the 2 KD rings so far? No, not at all, but I do feel a little coy about it. But there's 2 things here, 2 feelings. I feel exactly the way you think I feel. But when I zoom out to the entire experience of being a Warriors fan, we completely deserve it. I know it's like watching one of those old Sweet 16 MTV shows, if anybody's that age, watching Lil Wayne's daughter get a 5th G-Wagon. But it's not. We never had a G-Wagon before. We deserve this. We went through a lot as a franchise, as a fan base. So, getting a couple easy ones, which apparently aren't that easy, we deserve it. More than anybody, period. And that's how I justify it. That's how I get over my dual feelings there. Okay, some rapid fire one. Yes, Latrell Sprewell should have never choked PJ Carlissimo. But then I grew up and realized sometime you gotta... No, really, it's a joke. But seriously, there's not much a player can do when a coach gets out of line. And choking someone is so very human. It's harm at its purest. It's direct, it's personal. It's the clearest expression of hatred, right? So along with a whole lot more backstory and research into this topic, it makes me understand that this wasn't just a freak accident. And though Latrell went too far, it was the organization's fault for not recognizing what was happening and not giving their star player an outlet before it got to that point. Run TMC just shows you the power of nicknames. Run TMC was like for 2 years? They won nothing, but it's arguably made each of those players immortal. That nickname. Remember, the power of nicknames is unrivaled. Okay, here's the other thing about Draymond. If you ever want to just win a conversation, the whole nuts thing with Draymond is eternally embarrassing. The man even put his damn nuts on Snapchat. Like, the summer of nuts was... There's no conversation that you just can't end with a Warriors fan by bringing up Draymond and his love for tapping nuts. It's annoying, but like I'm not even trying to. Like if somebody brings that up and I'm discussing things with them about Draymond, like you win. I'm out. I'm not. I can defend the kick leg all day, all freaking day. But the timing of all that was absurd. He kicked Steven Adams in the nuts multiple times, and then grazes LeBron's nuts, and then in the summer he puts his nuts on Snapchat. Like, you can't defend any of that. Okay, one other quick thing about this inciting tweet about how Warriors fans used to be Lakers fans. What's hilarious, feel free to tag this person in this video. What's hilarious about this is how the goalpost is being moved ever so slowly with the Warriors fans and the concept of bandwagon fans. I mean, let's say the Warriors win for, I don't know, 10 years in a row. People are going to be saying, man, you're a bandwagon fan. You didn't even know about the Warriors until like 15 years ago. Well, I've literally seen tweets where it says, man, Warriors fans didn't even know about the Warriors until like 5 years ago. 5 years ago. Half these people watching these videos are 12 and 13. Like 5 years ago is their whole life. You can't be you're still a bandwagon fan if you've been watching the team for 6 years. God damn it. Okay, and that's it for now. We can do this again. This is very unscripted, but I just wanted to try this out. If we like it, we'll do more. If you've never been here, check out more produced stuff. It's just as good. Sounds a little better, but that's it. I love all of you. I love my patrons. And shout out to these notification team members. They hit the notification button and you can do it too and get seen. Check out the store, Storyteller shirts. You clearly don't know basketball shirts. That's the theme. Let's do it. Chris, the music was great. Turn it up a little bit maybe. That's my critique. Love you guys. Everything evergreen. Remember Minute, because this is just the beginning.